Hello all, welcome to today's class. Today, we'll be discussing the short story How Much Land Does a Man Need, written by Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy was a Russian writer who can be considered as one of the greatest authors of all time. In this short story, we can find a realistic portrayal of life, and it was written and published in the year 1886. The major theme of the story is the corruptive power of greed. Though man is blessed with whatever he needs, people seem to be more greedy. The more they have, the more greedier they become. And man's quest for materialistic pleasures can never be quenched. Now, regarding the plot, we have the story of a peasant named Pahom, and he is the protagonist, and we have the devil as the antagonist. And Pahom is a peasant who lives with his family, but he is occasionally tempted by the devil, and finally he is driven to death due to his greed for land. Now let us discuss the story in detail. Pahom, the peasant, is one day visited by his wife's elder sister. The elder sister was married off to a tradesman, and they lived in a city. The elder one, who visited the younger sister, started boasting about the blessings of city life. She boasted about the ways in which the city people dressed, the different kinds of food they ate, and how they went to the theaters, etc. But at the same time, the younger sister, who led a peaceful life as a peasant's wife, was contented with all that she had. The elder one's words couldn't move the younger sister, who always disparaged city life. She said, "Life may be coarse for the peasants, but they are spared from anxiety. City people may have a better life, perhaps a life better than the village folk, but they earn only what they need. But the city people earn more than what they actually need. So there is a possibility to lose all the money earned thus. For loss and gain are brothers twain. A peasant's life is safe. It may not be a fat one, but definitely it is going to be a long one. They may never grow rich, but they shall have enough to eat." At this point, the elder sister sneered at the younger sister. She said, "The peasants who doesn't know anything about the elegance of manners may end their life on a dung heap." And the younger one retorted, "Obviously the peasant folk may live a coarse life, but they need not bow their heads before anyone. Today, fortune may be favorable, but tomorrow everything is going to be unfavorable for the city folk. One day the devil may tempt them with cards, wine, or women." Now, Pahom, who was the master of the house as well as the husband of the younger sister, overhears them. He thought, what the elder one said is almost true. A peasant's life is one that of endless toil and misery. The greatest problem we peasants face is we don't have enough land. Ever since we were born, we were tilling this earth for no use. And he thought, if I had plenty of land, I wouldn't even fear the devil himself. Now this time, the devil, who was sitting behind the oven, overhears all what is said. And the devil decides to tempt poor Pahom by giving him more land. So here begins the story of Pahom the peasant. Now, there was a lady who lived in Pahom's village, and she was also a small landowner who had an estate of 300 acres. And she was in good terms with the peasants around until she appointed a steward to take care of her land. A steward means an assistant. And this steward, he was a very cunning fellow who unnecessarily fined the poor peasants whose cattle and horse occasionally trespassed into their farm. And Pahom too was fined, for his horses, his cows, his calves, one after the other, found their way into the lady's premises. One day, the news got out that the lady was about to sell her land to the innkeeper who lived on the high road. The peasants were very much worried at this, for the innkeeper was far worse than the lady steward. So the peasants, they all gathered in their commune to discuss the issue and to find a solution for that. So the peasants went on behalf of their commune and asked the lady not to sell the land. Instead, they shall offer her a better price. And the lady agreed to this. So the peasants decided to buy the land jointly, but the evil one, whose target was Pahum, used this opportunity wisely. The evil one sowed seeds of discord among them, and they decided to buy the land individually, each according to his means. Now Pahum came to know that a neighbor of his was buying 50 acres of land, and half of the amount was paid and half due. At this point, Pahum felt envious and talked to his wife regarding this, and they decided to buy 20 acres of land. So they had 100 rubles with them. Also they sold a colt. Colt means a male horse. And half of their beasts were sold. They hired out their son as a laborer, took his wages in advance, and they borrowed the rest from his brother-in-law, and finally bought the land. Pahum signed the agreement with the lady, paid half of the money in advance, promised to pay the remainder in 2 years. So now Pahum borrowed seeds and sowed them in his newly purchased land and had a fine harvest. So he was able to pay off the debts both to the lady and to his debtors within 1 year. And thus Pahum too became a landowner. So everything was going fine until the neighboring peasants trespassed on his cornfields and meadows. At first he appealed to them politely, but there was no use. For a long time Pahum forbore all these, and at last he complained to the district court judge. He just wanted to teach them a lesson, and the trespassers were duly fined. The peasants who bore grudge on him began to loot Pahum's land. One of them cut down 5 young lime trees. This left Pahum furious, and Pahum concluded that this might have been done by a peasant named Simon, who was summoned and tried by the district court judges. But due to the lack of solid evidence, he was set free. Pahum now quarreled with the judges for letting the criminals go. About this time, many people from Pahum's neighborhood started relocating themselves to new parts. But Pahum was determined not to leave at any cost. One day, Pahum was visited by a traveling peasant who came from beyond the Volga. Pahum came to know that many people from his commune had already bought land in the stranger's place, which was blessed with a very fertile soil that produced more yields. One peasant who went there empty-handed now had 6 horses and 2 cows of his own. This instilled a wave of desire in Pahum's heart. He thought, why should I suffer in this narrow hole? So he decided to sell his land, and during summer he went down the Volga to inquire about the land, and things were same as told by the stranger. Pahum was impressed, for every man there had 25 acres of communal land given him for use. So Pahum returned home, and as autumn came on, he began selling off his belongings, sold his land, then his homestead, withdrew from the membership of the commune, and set on for the new settlement. And Pahum came to the new place. There he applied for the membership of the commune. 5 shares of communal lands were given for himself as well as for his sons, and total they were given 125 acres of land. So Pahum bought all that he needed, and he had plenty of fertile, cultivable land and pasturage. At first, Pahum was contented and pleased with all he had, but gradually he began to develop the want for more and more. Pahum wanted to sow more wheat, and for that he even took land for lease from a dealer for a period of 1 year. After some time, Pahum noticed that some peasants who were living on freehold lands were growing wealthy day by day. So he thought of buying some freehold land and have a homestead on it. Though the thought of buying freehold land recurred to him, he continued as a lessee for 3 years. The harvest was fine, which helped him to lay money by, and Paham could have gone contentedly, but he grew tired taking property for rent. So Paham decided to buy freehold land and was looking for one. Paham came across one such land and made an agreement with a peasant for 1,500 rubles. One day, a passing dealer visited Paham. The dealer was just returning from the Bashkirs, who had 13,000 acres of land for 1,000 rubles. And from the dealer, Paham came to know that all one need to do is to make friends with the chief of the Bashkirs. The dealer himself gave dressing gowns, carpets, cases of tea, and wine in order to please them, and got the land for 2 pence per acre. The dealer told Paham that the land was on a river bank and the soil was virgin too. Paham now thought of getting a share of land of the Bashkirs. So Paham inquired all about the place and started off to the Bashkirs along with the tradesman. On the 7th day, they came to the Bashkirs' tents, and the people lived on the steps by a river, and they had plenty of cattle and horses. The mares were milked, and kumis and cheese were made. The women of the herd prepared kumis and cheese, and men drank kumis, tea, ate mutton, and played on their pipes. And they were a merry lot. Kumis means a drink made out of fermented milk. And regarding the Bashkirs, they were ignorant and knew no Russian. As soon as they saw Paham, they came out and greeted him. There was an interpreter, and Paham told them he had come for the land. The Bashkirs seemed very glad, and they took Paham to one of their best tents, and they sat around him. They gave him kumis and tea, and they killed a sheep and gave him mutton to eat. Now Paham took out the presents he brought for them and distributed it among them. And they were pleased and asked Paham to choose whatever he pleased. And Paham, who was eagerly waiting for this, replied thus: "What pleases me here most is your land." And after discussion, the Bashkirs told Paham that they are glad to give Paham land as much as he wished, for he only need to point it out with his hand. Now a man in a large fox fur cap appeared, and he was the chief. Paham now fetched the best dressing gown and tea, which he offered to the chief. The chief was happy and consented Paham's wish for land. The chief asked Paham to choose whatever land he liked, but Paham demanded that he wanted to get the land deed signed. Paham inquired about the price. The price of the land was 1,000 rubles a day. The condition was that one could go around on one's feet as much as he wished for in a day, and the land thus covered shall be his. And the price is all 1,000 rubles a day. Paham was indeed surprised over this offer, and Paham thought of getting a large tract of land a day. And at this point, the chief said, "If you are not able to return the same day to your starting point, your money will all be lost." So to avoid further confusion, the chief told Paham that he could start from any spot, can take a spade along with him to make marks wherever he wished. Paham could make a larger circuit as he wished, but he was supposed to return to the starting point before the sunset. Paham was delighted, and he couldn't sleep that night due to anxiety. What he was thinking about was the large tract of land and nothing else. He laid awake all night and dozed off only just before the dawn. And he had a dream. In his dream, he heard someone chuckling, and he saw that it was the chief himself sitting in front of the tent and laughing. Paham asked why he was laughing, but suddenly he realized that it was not the chief, but it was the dealer who visited him long ago. And when he went closer, he understood that it was not the dealer, but the peasant who came up from the Volga. Then he saw it was not the peasant, but it was the devil himself with hoofs and horns. And suddenly, Paham noticed that a man was lying prostrate before the devil, and he saw that the man was dead, and it was himself. So Pahom awoke horror-struck. He looked around. It was morning, and he went to call the Bashkirs. The Bashkirs rose. Together they drank kumis, and they ascended a hillock. Hillock means a small mound of hill. The chief came and stretched his arms towards the plain and said, "All this, as far as your eye can reach, is yours. You may have any part of it." The chief then took his fox fur cap and placed it on the ground, and it was marked as the starting point. Now Pahom took out 1,000 rubles and put it on the cap and set on his conquest for land towards the direction of the rising sun. So Pahom started walking in a moderate pace. After walking 3 miles, he took off his boots to complete the remaining 3 shifts. Before midday, he covered a huge square, and he was 10 miles from his goal. Now he decided to return. He turned straight towards the hillock but walked with difficulty. He walked on, but it was very hard. He pressed on, but still he was far from the hillock. Now he threw away his coat, his boot, his cap, and kept only the spade which he used as a support. Now he looked around. The sun was close to the rim. At this point, a strange fear caught hold of him. There may be plenty of land that I could cover in a single day, but will God let me live on it? He ran, mustering all his strength, and he just reached the hillock. The sun had already set, and he shouted, "All my labor has been in vain." Suddenly he heard the Bashkirs shouting from the hillock. He took a long breath and ran towards the hillock, and he saw the Bashkir sitting on the top of the hillock laughing. This time he recounted the dream that he had the previous day. Now Pahom's servant ran up to raise him, but blood was flowing out of his mouth, and Pahom was dead. His servant picked up the spade and dug a grave which was 6 feet long. So that was all he needed. So Pahom was able to cover a large tract of land on that particular day, but he was not able to live on it. So it was Pahom's greed for land that ultimately led to his downfall. So this short story presents before us the theme that man's strong and selfish desire for materialistic pleasures is the ultimate cause of all evil. Greedy people can never be happy in their life. And here, Pahom too was not happy with what he had. And greed can never be satisfied. And a greedy person is the one who is constantly hovered by the want of more and more. And when he cannot get it, he opts any means to get hold of it. And ultimately, it leads to his destruction. Here it was Pahom's greed for land that led him to his death. So whatever be our circumstances, we should learn to live a contented life. Here, Tolstoy, through this short story, insists on the need to ponder over the option of free will that is bestowed upon us. So we have a choice of free will. We can choose between right and wrong. And obviously, a prudent or a wise use of free will can help us have a contented life. So we should not allow the devil to take hold of our free will. And this story can also be considered as a parable. A parable, it is a story which can either be in prose or verse that gives us one or more instructive lessons. So this one can be considered as a parable of greed as well as ambition. And on examining the plot of this short story, we can divide it into 5 stages. That is exposition, the rising action, the climax, and the falling action. In the exposition, we have an introduction of the main thread of the short story. That is, the major action that takes place in the exposition is the devil overhearing Pahom and deciding to give him enough land as a means of temptation. Then comes the rising action. In the rising action, we can see a progression in the life of the protagonist. Or we can see that fortune is in favor to Pahom, allowing him to prosper in his achievements. And we can see that Paham is moving from one place to another in search of cultivable land, new lands. Then in the climax, the most important action takes place, or the turning point is presented. So here we have the climax as Paham decides to go to the Bashkirs to seek more land. And in the following action we can see Paham's grateful land leads him to his downfall. And this story gives us the message that ultimately what a man needs is only the land for a 6 feet long grave. So thank you for listening and watching.